Well, the teams are lining up for the final of the Continental Cup. There's plenty at stake for everybody involved, and they've heard plenty of words of wisdom.
Somewhere behind the athlete you've become.
And the hours of practice.
And the coaches who have pushed you. There's a little girl who fell in love with the game. Play for her.
We are moments away from kick-off. It's a big occasion. The teams are in the tunnel. Natasha Dowie, go on, stick your neck out. Who are you going for?
Arsenal 2-0.
Arsenal 2-0?
Arsenal 3-0.
Arsenal 3-0! No, that would be an awful way for the Lincoln ladies to bow out of
Sorry,
being Lincoln ladies. You're allowed to have an opinion. Right, let's hand over to our commentators, Lucy Ward and Steve Bauer.
So what a way to end the domestic season. And of course, as has been mentioned, the domestic and 18-year life of Lincoln ladies. Is this to be the fairy tale for them, or will it be yet more silverware for Arsenal? As always, as they have been in their illustrious history, Arsenal are the favourites. They carry the weight of expectation, but they've carried that for over a decade. And they've been knocked off their league perch, of course, this season. Can they be denied double domestic honours? Lincoln have to put the emotion of the night behind them. And as their manager Rick Passmore said, play this game and not the occasion, and all that goes with it. Proud moment for Rick Passmore. Since he came to Lincoln, he's had a lot to deal with on and off the pitch, and of course the news in this season that it would be the end of Lincoln ladies. He's defied all the odds to get here. Can he go one better and go back north to Lincoln with the trophy? Their first ever trophy in their first ever cup final in their last ever match as Lincoln ladies. This is common ground, of course, for Arsenal, who have already been to the FA Cup final and been victorious again this season. And that was a record 12th FA Cup in 13 years. Here they are looking for 3 consecutive Continental Cup victories. And they are going to be introduced to the guests of honour, Michael Game, who's the chairman of the FAWSL, and Laura Hardy, the communication and sponsorship manager from Continental Tires, who gives such backing to this tournament in the women's game. New experience for the Lincoln players, although half of their team have been to the final of the League Cup and won it before with different clubs. You sense if they could do it tonight, it would be that little bit more sweeter, given the emotion and history of the occasion. Shelley Kerr, who arrived at Arsenal in February to take over a title-winning team. She hasn't been able to deliver the title in her first season in charge, but this is an opportunity for double domestic cup success, and the man who started it all for Arsenal ladies, Vic Akers, is here to see if she can do it as well. He still offers the Arsenal ladies team such terrific support. And next week as well, they begin yet another Champions League campaign. We now pause for the national anthem. stage where Lincoln just want to get this game out. Rick Passmore has worked all week on the game plan. Will it come to fruition? Well, Arsenal are fortunate to be at full strength tonight. All the experience in the ranks, the likes of Rachel Yankey, Katie Chapman and Alex Scott, who've been this course and more before. The captain, Steph Horton, plays in the heart of the defence, so Gemma Davison has to be content with a place on the bench. Only Emma Mitchell in that starting 11 has yet to win a domestic honour in Arsenal's history. Lincoln are at full strength. They're led by the England captain Casey Stoney, who won this trophy with Charlton, and Bradley, Clark, Walton and Allen all won this competition as well under Rick Passmore 3 years ago at Leeds.
That's a real familiar formation for Arsenal. They've got real pace on the flanks. I think in recent games we've seen Kim Little drop and play a little bit deeper, and the emergence of Jordan Nobbs bombing on forward and scoring goals. There's goals all over the pitch for Arsenal. Lincoln will look to frustrate and be compact in defence. A great back four and a top-class goalkeeper, and they'll be looking to hit on the break.
Well, Arsenal, in words, can't repair the disappointment of losing their league title, and incidentally, after the 3-point deduction, a Champions League place for the following season. But Lincoln are looking to ruin the dream of 2 domestic cups in one season as well. Huge night for Lincoln ladies and Rick Passmore. Can they complete the footballing fairy tale in their last ever game as Lincoln? Captains know each other inside out. The England captain Casey Stoney alongside her international teammate Steph Horton. Lisa Rashid, experienced defender, is tonight's match referee. Which one of those 2 girls will be lifting the trophy? Shelley Kerr's already seen Arsenal win the FA Cup. Can she add the Continental Cup to the collection in her first season in charge? Fabulous playing surface at the Hive for this final to take place on. And it will be Arsenal to get us underway. The dominant force in the women's game. Arsenal trying to win their 40th major honour in the illustrious history of Arsenal ladies against a team who are looking to bring the curtain down on their 18 years as a football club in their first ever final and get their hands on their first ever trophy. It's a fascinating tale. Which way will it go? The obvious way is Arsenal, Lucy, but what chance for Lincoln?
Well, Lincoln obviously have the solution in terms of keeping Arsenal out, because they've done it 3 times. I think they've drawn with them 3 times. A couple of them were 0-0s, but they have to learn how to score against them. And obviously, like Rick said, he's been working on that for quite a while. But they've done it, Steve, and I think, you know, in Arsenal's head, they'll know that these are frustrating to play against, and they've not got to get that frustrated.
Yeah, the exchanges could be extremely interesting and indeed pivotal for the confidence and belief levels of those Lincoln players. Flaherty to Steph Horton, who herself in a brief Arsenal career has already won 6 major medals. It's littered with experience and winners, this Arsenal team. Little, no one's more than Rachel Yankey, who couldn't get control of that particular ball. And the first touch of the night for Emma Byrne. And the Arsenal goal.
It's key for Arsenal to move the ball about quickly, try and get the movement going, draw defenders in and try and play the ball around them, because they'll stick firm. Lincoln, they'll be compact as they possibly can be.
Here's Carter. And that's Ellen White. Chapman was up in support as well. Let's come back out to Jordan Nobbs. Little. Space for Carter. That's an extremely good save by Karen Bardsley.
She definitely doesn't want to be saving things like that. If you see on the edge of the area, then she's just got to be closed down there. Danny Carter did really well. Karen Bardsley won't be happy that she had that much room on the edge. A great save.
Vitally important not to give Arsenal an early lead there. Just past the 2-minute mark. It's a congested penalty area as Kim Little's corner comes in. It was inviting too, and it was Danny Carter who got ahead to it.
Now Lincoln obviously concerned about threat earlier, Katie Chapman and Steph Horton, but in the end Dan Carter just couldn't get the angle on it. You just see how she turned there. She just turned the defender the wrong way. Well covered by Karen Bardsley. I think that's been a key thing of Lincoln this season. The back four, Karen Bardsley in goal, really does make a difference when you've got a strong goalkeeper behind you.
Strong header from Chapman. Vital that Arsenal could call upon her experience again in midfield tonight. Another header, one from her. Emma Mitchell, the newcomer if you like, in trying to win something with Arsenal, the Scottish international who arrived in the close season. Playing at left back. Sweetman Kirk, mid-season signing for Lincoln. No foul there. Lincoln will expect long periods without the ball. They had that in the 3 meetings this season, but managed to frustrate Arsenal on each occasion to get a draw.
Yeah, absolutely. They've obviously been working on the shape when they've not got possession, Lincoln, so they know where to force the play out wide, and then perhaps double up on the wide players like Yankee, Danielle Carter or Ellen White. They will interchange the 3 positions up front. I think that's key, and then they will look to get their goals on the counter.
Martha Harris with the throw. Her elder sister Megan having to be content with being placed on the substitutes bench tonight. Their father, of course, it was who started it all, Glenn Harris, 18 years ago. He'll be watching his 2 daughters tonight, hoping the fairy tale for Lincoln can come true. Early from Little. Yankee onside. Up against Turner, who was equal to it. Arsenal throw. Twenty-year-old Mitchell with it, just looking for a little bit of movement. Katie Chapman, now crossing opportunity for Emma Mitchell. Bardsley didn't get there. Came back across and Harris was in the way. It's an Arsenal corner. Important times for levels of concentration here for Lincoln early on. It has gone short. Here's Little. Lifted in towards that back post. Horton was closest to it. Flaherty is going to leave that for Mitchell. Mitchell once more. Chapman. Horton. Space for Mitchell. Well read by Bradley. Turner dispossessed though. Lincoln just can't get out of their own half at the moment.
The car, a little bit ominous from Arsenal. Reminds me of the way they started against Liverpool in the league up at Liverpool. Dominated the game and scored 3 goals as well. But Lincoln just need to stay firm, keep the shape like I said, and concentrate in their defending. I have a feeling it's not going to be the most exciting of games. I don't want to put anybody off here, but I think if Lincoln get an early goal, I think it'll open the game up a little bit more. It doesn't look like it's going to happen at the moment, but Lincoln have a game plan.
You've pushed me to a point I was reluctant to mention, that we are watching the two best defences of the WSL in the final tonight. Lincoln and Rick Passmore conceding only 14 goals in the regulation season, only 3 more than Arsenal. But Arsenal, just to give you an idea, did finish with 3 times as many points as Lincoln ladies over the WSL season. They were disappointed to finish 6th, their lowest in the 3 years, with just 2 wins, both ironically enough against Chelsea, including one on the last day.
It's been a bit of a weird season for Lincoln, the way that, you know, that the lost games they probably shouldn't have done, and then only beaten Chelsea. Well, in the cup, obviously getting themselves to the final, but the players they have, Steve, they should be doing better.
It's fair to say that there's a little Arsenal support, understandably, in the North London area tonight. Lincoln trying to upset the odds and the crowd, it would seem. Arsenal corner, delivered by Yankee. Bardsley, was she impeded? The referee didn't think so. And again, Karen Bardsley didn't make any contact with the ball. And that's intercepted by Horwood.
It actually looks like she's hurt herself, Karen Bardsley. After me saying how strong she was, she's made a couple of dodgy decisions as the ball's come from either flank. She landed awkwardly there.
Little. Yankee once more, fizzed in from her, Ellen White's header. Oh, she just couldn't keep it down. Thumbs up to the delivery from Rachel Yankee.
Think about Ellen White, I mean, the driven ball across by Rachel Yankee's top class. She's got great technique in her heading. Ellen White there, there's not many English players in this country who have got that technique. She's definitely one of them. Has the ability to score from that, but great ball from Yankee.
Rachel Yankee, who has won 27 medals in her Arsenal career. In her second spell, of course, 11 years in total. She's 34 next month. Still going strong. It's Jess Clark for Lincoln, forward by Horton.
Yeah, but a concern for Lincoln at the moment that they're not really getting the ball to their key players like Jess Clark. She really can cause havoc down either flank. At the moment she's out on the left, but if they don't get the ball to her, there's not really much she can do. She needs to keep wide, particularly when her team's got it.
She's one of the more experienced players in the Lincoln ranks. Scored in one of those draws this season against Arsenal, the one in the group stages of this competition. Little did well to ride that challenge. And then tries to find Jordan Nobbs and succeeds in an advanced position. Yankee on a favoured left foot. Clark back helping out Martha Harris. It is already all hands to the pump for Lincoln.
I don't really think that they would have expected anything else, Steve. Start like this, Arsenal have a point to prove to quite a few teams in this league, including Lincoln, who've frustrated them over the course of the season. And we need to maintain this tempo, Arsenal. Yeah, see, that's a big stat. Like I say, we did expect that, but that's pretty high. But at the moment, the closest they've come, it's a good save from Karen Bardsley. So I think Rick Passmore's happy that his team are defending in the shape that he expects them to.
Clip forward for the run of Ellen White, who's timed it perfectly. Nobbs waiting for the cross, punched away by Bardsley.
I don't know
Ellen White has stayed down there.
Sorry, Steve. Ellen White, I don't know whether she was challenged there, but just look at when keepers. It's a great
brilliant
run.
movement from her.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what she's capable of, and I don't know whether it was just as she stood. Ow. Pure commitment there. She was going to get that ball across regardless of where she landed. Dead leg, perhaps?
That was a sore one. It's an Arsenal throw. should also point out that was another warning for Lincoln, because both central defenders lost that.
It was great movement, but I just don't understand why keepers punch it where they could catch it. That's one of my bugbears, but there you go.
Mind you, there's plenty of those.
Being the magnificent keeper that I am, obviously.
This is Jess Clark trying to relieve a bit of this early Arsenal pressure. Clark once more. Now Whelan. Crossing opportunity. Too close to Emma Byrne.
I did speak to Rick Passmore earlier in the week, and he did emphasise the need that when they do get the chances, Lincoln, and they get up into Arsenal's penalty area, that they put these chances away. You see there the quality of Jess Clark on that left-hand side. Just produces a little bit of magic, but the ball into the box has got to be better. There's got to be people on the end of it. Just give Lincoln a chance in this game.
Sweetman Kirk, who Lincoln brought in July from Coventry, the England under-23 international. 22 years of age. Try and offer something more of a goal threat. Ellen White still not moving too freely at the other end for Arsenal. Nobody will come off in a cup final unless they absolutely have to.
The embarrassment of riches that Arsenal have got. They've got Gemma Davison, who could play in any of those positions up front. Like you say, Ellen White will not want to come off.
4 goals in 4 games in the Continental Cup this season. Ellen White played a big part in getting Arsenal to the final. That's cleared by Gilly Flaherty. The flag was up anyway. Free kick to the holders of the Continental Cup, who of course have beaten Karen Carney's Birmingham in each of the 2 finals in this competition so far. Last year they found it rather more difficult than the inaugural year. Just the 1 goal scored by Kim Little 12 months ago after a 4-1 victory in the first year. Nobbs is offside. She didn't think she was.
Tell you what, that must be a close one. She did look like she'd managed to run very, very well. It's just exactly where she wanted it. She was measuring her run on the left back, Martha Harris. She looked level at that stage. I mean, obviously, as soon as the ball was played, she sprinted away, and to the assistant referee, that probably looked like she drifted offside, but I'm not so sure.
8 goals in all competitions from midfield this season for Jordan Nobbs. Last season she was Arsenal's Player of the Year. She's hit those standards again in this campaign.
I think as midfielder, Steve, it's which penalty box do you affect? Jordan Nobbs, if she plays as a defensive midfielder, she protects her own box and she defends well, but if she plays that forward position, and she's really effective going forward and scoring goals. Now, if you don't affect either box as a midfielder, then there's no point in you playing. You just stand in the middle and receive and pass it. You've got to affect either box. She definitely does that.
Such strength in there tonight for Arsenal. Little and Chapman as well. If you stop 1 or 2 of them, then the other one seems to pop up. Lincoln's game plan based on good organisation and communication tonight.
And also, Steve, a good team spirit. Feels that Lincoln have got an excellent team spirit, and you know they've not done so well this season, but they've stayed together and they've made sure they've got to this final, and you know to finish off as Lincoln ladies with a bang.
Well, speaking to Megan Harris and Remy Allen earlier in the week, they actually saying to me that nobody has been spoken to about next season and Notts County ladies until after this final. So it's no exaggeration to say a lot of these girls in white tonight are playing for their own personal futures as well.
Yeah, I would suspect so, because their league form has not been very good. They're obviously looking at it as if to say, well, if we're going to go to Notts County, we're going to put some money into it, then we want a top team. You know, so it'll be quite nerve-wracking. Perhaps tonight they'll enjoy the occasion, but they've got to play well because they've got to earn that next contract. That's what football's all about. As soon as you earn a contract and you're into it, you're earning the next one.
Mitchell. dispossessed. Strong challenge by Nobbs on Clark to win it back for Arsenal, though. A little bit of space now for Ellen White. Only one thing in her mind. Forced to save out of Karen Barsley.
That's still a bit worrying for Lincoln. Just a lot of space afforded to these forwards for Arsenal just to have those shots. Now it's got to be pretty good to beat Karen Barsley from there. I don't think she'll be happy with the defenders. Just to engage, just to put them under a little bit of pressure.
Mitchell. She's offered Arsenal real balance with a natural left foot since her arrival mid-season. Her fellow Scott Little. White seems to have run off that clash earlier on. Yankee. Curious one from Horton. Sweetman Kirk. Looking for Aileen Whelan, the two mid-season recruits trying to combine for Lincoln ladies. Given away by Nobbs. Now Clark. Up against Alex Scott, who uses all her experience there, but Lincoln do get the throw.
These two had lots of battles in the England squad, both in the England squad together in training. It's really tricky. Jess Clark, difficult to get the ball off, and she's strong, quite wiry. She's only small, but she's very strong. Managed to get her body in the way. I'd be surprised if Jess swapped flanks and had to go Emma Mitchell down this left-hand side as well.
Here she is again. Crosses too deep though. She scored Lincoln's goal in the first of the 3 draws with Arsenal this season. She also scored one of the penalties in the shootout in the semi-final, and they overcame Liverpool after a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes to upset the odds. Most people expected a Liverpool-Arsenal final. Lincoln trying to do so again tonight with that underdogs tag.
It's a real battle, that one. Sophie Walton for Lincoln and Katie Chapman for Arsenal. Both fierce competitors, both do similar jobs, but Sophie Walton managed to track Katie Chapman's forward run there and continue to battle with each other as this game progresses.
There is Walton with the ball forward towards Sweetman Kirk. Yankee. No one's played for England more often than her. No one's more domestic medals than her. She's still as hungry tonight for her 28th medal as she was for her first.
Yeah, and her form's changed, or the way she plays has changed over the last couple of years. She sort of dipped in form a few years ago and just found she's still obviously got the pace, but she picks up good positions, better positions, plays better balls forward, and really has adapted to the fact that she's getting older. Obviously she's not that old, but she's done really well.
Morton dispossesses Allen. Now space for Nobbs. Carter is the central figure. They have such flexibility, the Arsenal attackers. No way through for Ellen White on that occasion. He's now just drifted across to the right-hand side.
Would it be an understatement if I said we needed a goal, Steve?
Well, if you're a Lincoln supporter, you wouldn't agree. I sense that with their game plan, they'd be quite happy if this was the situation with 5 or 10 minutes to go and they could find a goal from somewhere.
Don't say that.
Once a foul by Mitchell. on Sweetman Kirk. It's a Lincoln free kick.
Lost a boot. There you go. You can see Sweetman Kirk just gonna cause some problems if she can get hold of the ball. A little bit of pace taking on Emma Mitchell. I would suspect Lincoln have worked on all manner of set pieces, making sure they work the ball well, whether it be a free kick, wide free kick or a corner. But these will be the times where they need to be as effective as possible in that final third.
Bonnie Horwood is going to deliver the free kick for Lincoln ladies. Met by Chapman. Cleared by Horton. It's another Lincoln free kick. Referee didn't like that challenge from Dan Carter.
My first thought was a free kick, just ease Sophie Walton out of the way. Just think Lincoln need to just get this. They obviously don't want the game moving quick because that'd suit Arsenal, but when they have these free kicks in these positions, they've just put a hand on and played. They've got the players that can play. Like Rick Passmore said before the game, he was happy with how his team played against Chelsea.
And that was Amy Turner.
She's given a free kick for that. She's saying she got the ball, Amy Turner. It's a particularly tough challenge. Rachel Yankee suffered hundreds of those in her career. Just turns into Amy Turner. You see where the ball goes. Just as she comes in, Amy Turner, just a Turner. She would say that she got the ball, but she definitely got the player. Free kick.
Horton. Chapman with the forward run. Aiming towards Carter. Casey Stoney stood her ground. Reminder of the live action tomorrow from the Barclays Premier League. Everton putting their unbeaten run on the line as they go to the Etihad to face Manchester City. All the build-up on one from 11:30 from the Aviva Premiership. It is the Leicester Tigers against the Northampton Saints, and that is live for you on one from 3 tomorrow. And what a game for you on Sunday evening from Serie A. The reigning champions Juventus at home to AC Milan. Mario Balotelli and all from 7:45. Yankee
She
on
pulled,
Bardsley.
Yeah, she just pulled. Karen Bardsley tried to get past to Rachel Yankee, just pulled on her, she knocked her over. I don't think if it should have done that in the street, should have fallen over, but just a little bit naughty from Yankee, just holding onto her hand. It would surprise me whether if the referee books Rachel Yankee, if the assistant referee saw what happened. Doesn't look like she's gonna ask him for her autograph. Look.
So one conversation ends with a smile.
See, Rachel Yankee's got such an innocent face that she will get away with something like that.
Away from Harris. Here's Clark. Good defending by Alex Scott. It's come back to Jess Clark for Lincoln. Being chased all the way by Jordan Nobbs. Terrific challenge from her. Lincoln throw. Martha Harris with it. Whelan. hasn't got Lincoln a corner. Right, let's get an Arsenal perspective. After almost 27 minutes, the assistant coach Kelly Smith is with Helen.
Kelly, these guys have kind of been a pain in your neck all season, haven't they? How aware of you were that when you came into this?
Yeah, we knew it would be a frustrating game for us today. They like to get a lot of players behind the ball and defend and hit us on the counter-attack, and that's the way they've set up again, because it's been successful for them. You know, 3 times that we've played them, we've had 3 draws, so they're a bogey team at the minute.
It's kind of a psychological factor that they'll be hanging on to and making the most of. Do you kind of try and draw a line under it?
We knew that coming into the game, that's their game plan, so we just told the girls to be patient as much as possible. We know we're going to have a majority of the ball for big chunks of the game, but we must take our goal scoring opportunities, because if you don't, they can come down the other end and punish us.
A chance for you guys to silence your critics. People have been going on about the WSL title, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Obviously, you know, we're disappointed in finishing 3rd in the league, but you know, if we can win this cup tonight, we've done the double, so it's not too bad of a season for us.
Not too bad at all. Good luck, Kelly.
Here's Remy Allen though for Lincoln, just a little too anxious to try and find Jess Clark, who obviously is Lincoln's main attacking threat tonight.
Yeah, 1 or 2 promising situations from Lincoln. The last few minutes have all come through Jess Clark. Just need to be a little bit more composed in the way they actually get the ball to her, or the final ball into the box. But Arsenal will be very well aware of what she's capable of. Just a little bit more composure for me, for Lincoln.
She won the League Cup with Leeds back in 2010. A couple of Arsenal players in that squad that night, Ellen White and Steph Horton. Here's Little. Jordan Nobbs. We've certainly seen a score from that kind of range.
It's actually not bad a strike. It's outside of a foot across the ball. You could just see it curve and spin. Again, just afforded her just too much space. You can see the dip right at the end. It looked like it was going to go well over, but she'd definitely have that in her locker. So you see what I'm talking about, midfielders. She makes a sliding challenge on the edge of her box, Steve, and then fantastic goal scoring opportunity at the other end. And real up and coming midfielder. Seen her play for England and done really well.
Lincoln containing Arsenal. That would certainly be their first prerogative tonight. Here's Clark. They want her on the ball as much as possible. Had a little look up for the run of Sweetman Kirk and was dispossessed in the process. Went back by Whelan though. And Chapman in ahead of Horwood. No chances taken by Casey Stonick. By her own admission, hasn't had the Lincoln script that she had hoped for when she signed for the club. She'd dearly love to be lifting that trophy in the last ever action for the club before they move 30 miles to become Notts County ladies. Scott. Yankee. Carter couldn't bring it under control. Away by Amy Turner. Whelan was the only player up there for Lincoln.
So Lincoln need a better outlet than that, or a better ball, not just a bosh upfield and hope for the best. They just concede possession back to Arsenal. You know, sure, they've worked on where to counter and the areas to counter and who's going to do that. It just needs a better ball, and again a little bit more composure when they keep it, get the ball and keep it.
Foul by Harris. Short from Yankee to Jordan Nobbs. Who's on the ball again for the cup holders. Little. Now Yankee. She might fancy a go. Just the 2 goals this season, which has been interrupted with spells out injured for Rachel Yankee.
Yeah, a couple of tasty challenges there. Rachel Yankee just rides that one. Just enough to put her off a shot though.
Strong challenge and a fair one from Clark. Equally so from Chapman. White, lovely touch into her by Little. Ellen White will get a second opportunity here. She'll leave it to Scott. Away by Harris. Wasn't the quality on the delivery. Clark with the foul, Arsenal with the free kick.
And she's saying there, Jess Clark, that she got the ball. It looked to me, first viewing, that she did get the ball. I think the referee Matt just talked about we can see the direction the ball's going. Jordan Nobbs is not going to kick it out that way, but I think the referee wasn't really happy with the way she jumped into the challenge.
Little lifts it in. Good early decision that time from Karen Bardsley. She had missed a couple of cross balls in the first 15 minutes. Flaherty took a blow in challenging for that one.
I think Karen Bardsley landed on her foot or jumped from Julie Flaherty's foot. You see thin boots, you see these modern boots, Steve. Too thin. Can't withstand a stud.
Did they have the toe cap in when you were playing?
I have Billy's boots on.
Another play from Amy Turner. Mitchell. Quickly closed down by Sweetman Kirk. Arsenal will have realised the need to be patient tonight, particularly given their 3 meetings with Lincoln this season. Bradley's header. And Walton. Allen on the stretch. Poor clearance by Partsley, she got away with it. And long from Horwood. Jordan Nobbs, just such energy. First to it for Arsenal. Mitchell. Looking for the run of Carter, comfortably cut out by Sophie Bradley.
So again, I mean, they defend well. I do like the back four of Lincoln, obviously the 2 England centre halves, Sophie Bradley and Casey Stoney, but I do like the 2 youngsters, left back Martha Harris. She's a great player, quick. She rats about players. You won't find, I don't think you'll find Rachel Yankee on that side very often. She rats about players, and I do like Amy Turner as well, but they've got to play the ball forward with better quality, because otherwise you won't see the rest of it, and Arsenal will just continue to have this possession and invariably wear them down.
Tenth meeting between these two since the beginning of the WSL. Lincoln have only ever won one of them, and that was a 7-goal thriller in this competition by 4 goals to 3. No such free scoring so far in this final.
I remember the winner of that was I think it was Megan Harris overhead kick from the edge of the area. I remember
which she says is the best goal she's ever scored. Shelley Kerr would like to see an Arsenal goal at the moment.
I think she'll be happy with her team's performance so far. Shelley Kerr got the ball moving, they've raised the intensity, and they've not got frustrated just yet.
Sweetman Kirk. Mitchell first to that one. Well, he's been here before and upset the odds, in charge of Leeds in 2010 when he won the League Cup. And the victory over Everton. 4 of the Lincoln players in the squad tonight helped him do that. So too did Ellen White and Steph Horton. He's also lost to Arsenal in an FA Cup final with Leeds 5 years ago.
I know Rick very well. Worked with him at Leeds United for the past 15 years, and obviously played under him for Leeds United, and I just know that how organised he is. And he knows his game plan. He knows that a game plan can win his team a game, this game. And they'll have worked hard and worked hard at it.
Little. Stoney. All the way back from Sophie Walton. Offside flag was up, so free kick to Arsenal. So let's grab a word with Rick Passmore, with Helen.
Rick, has the end of the game been to defend, defend, defend?
No, not really. We're not playing particularly well. It looks like the occasion got to 2 or 3 or 4 of us. So if we can go in at half-time 0-0, I can relax a few. We haven't got much of possession, so relax them. Can we stay in at 0-0 and we can rebuild at half-time?
You're certainly a man on the edge, but, you're nearly at half-time.
We nearly are. I'm asking a lot of our experienced players to calm people down. At the moment, our midfield 3 have been caught in the headlights a little bit with the movement of Nobbs and Little, and the likes of Bonnie Horde haven't had a touch yet. And we need to, when we get the ball, relax and keep it a little bit longer, higher up the pitch, because at the moment, we're not awake.
Well, good luck, Rick. That, Steve, is a man on the edge. He is pacing around. The veins in his neck are certainly out tonight.
You will have calmed him down, Helen, I'm sure. As Yankee takes the corner in towards Horton. Barnsley came again. Touch off Stoney. The big positive for Lincoln is the clean sheet is still intact. Chapman. Arsenal throw. Carter. Rick Passmore saying he wants to get to half-time and wake a few up. Well, it's less than 6 minutes to the break now. Little. Here's Scott, and then White with the snapshot.
I think Rick Passmore mentioned his midfield 3. Sophie Walton has done well, and Remy Allen. He just mentioned Bonnie Horwood just to get her into the game. He has high standards. They're defending their edge of the area well, but like I just said before, just going forward, he'd be really unhappy with the quality of the ball forward and keeping it in Arsenal's defensive third, Lincoln's attacking third.
Little. Away from the aforementioned Bonnie Horwood. Here's Carter. Space for Scott. She's got goal side of Harris. And again, the cross is just a little too deep. No one at the back post for Arsenal.
See, the longer it goes on, where Lincoln defend the box very, very well, and they frustrate Arsenal, force them down the flanks, and then defend the crosses, the more in favour of Lincoln it'll be, because Arsenal will get frustrated, because they've got frustrated 3 times with Lincoln this season, and other teams as well, not just Lincoln. Been quite as dominating teams as they have in recent years. I would suspect that's a little bit of a shock to the system. Not necessarily her fault, it's just she's coming at the time that everybody's catching Arsenal up.
Carter beaten in the air. Almost fell for Yankee. Stoney was there first, and then Clark. Jess Clark up against Horton. And he was back to win it back, but Jordan Nobbs in the effort, which drifted wide in the end from Whelan.
That was a surprise to Whelan. It ended up like Jess Clark had lost it and Arsenal got it back. Just opened up in front of her. Worth an effort. I think she was just trying to curl it in the corner. Emma Byrne was unduly worried enough to make that little dive.
Aileen Whelan, who joined in the mid-season break from Nottingham Forest. She already has a goal in 5 games for the 22-year-old. Given away by Horton. Straight to Clark. Up against Yankee. Flaherty didn't get there, came quickly at Mitchell. Lincoln had 3 in the box there. It still might come to Whelan, and then Horwood! Well, that was nearly a shock to the Arsenal system. Scrappy from their point of view, and Bonnie Horwood almost forced this home.
You just see, just put Arsenal under a little bit of pressure at the back, and they just wobbled a little bit, and in the end, just a touch, I think, from the Arsenal defender as Bonnie Horwood stretched out to have that shot, and it just looked like it was just going to bounce from Steph Horton into the corner of the net.
The same player is going to take the Lincoln corner. 2 minutes to half-time. A rare moment of defending for Arsenal to do. Came quickly at Clark. Cleared by Horton. Back from Harris, then away by Chapman. More encouraging from Lincoln's point of view. It's back with Horwood. Just a fraction over Whelan. And this is where Lincoln have to be careful now that they're not hit on the break. And Carter hit it again. Scott might still be alive though. Little's onside. Teammates streaming forward. It's still Kim Little. She's going alone. Very important block.
Great defending
from Allen.
Yeah, great defending by Remy Allen. This is the first time they've left themselves exposed at the back. Lincoln without that back 4, and look what happens. Great defending by Remy Allen. End to end, to end the half.
Well, Rick Passmore described Lincoln as asleep. He's certainly woken up in the last couple of minutes. Might have even given him the lead. But it is the last minute of the first half, and they have another corner to defend. Deeper from Little. Bardsley didn't get there. Again, she wasn't impeded. Lincoln were waiting for the whistle there. It was off the line in the end.
Yeah, you usually see a referee blow the whistle if a goalkeeper is challenged like that. It's not happened twice now in this game.
Lisa Rashid, the referee, felt there was no infringement. And Lincoln reinforcing the importance of having a player on the line. Here's Nobbs. Here's Yankee. Well found by Nobbs. Back to Jordan Nobbs. Good block by Casey Stoney. Well, it's certainly livening up towards the end of the first 45 minutes. It's another Arsenal corner. And 1 more minute of time to add on at the end of the first half in this Continental Cup final, the last game of the domestic women's season. Yankees delivery almost came to Horton. Back in from Chapman. Carter! Harris with a block. Carter again. Stoney got in the way, and Lincoln survive. Back in towards White. It's almost as if that Lincoln opportunity has stung Arsenal into action. There's Little. And Sophie Bradley stuck out her leg to very good effect.
Yeah, 3 times now in this attack. Lincoln have thrown bodies in front of the ball and stopped a certain goal.
Yankee in again, looking for Horton again. Back from Chapman. It's away by Sophie Bradley. Back from Scott. And cleared by Harris.
That was a late challenge. Julie Flaherty just gives Lincoln a bit of respite and a free kick. You see here, great effort from Kim Little. When you stretch for a ball like that, it could go anywhere. These are the chances here. Great turn by Dan Carter. Again, Martha Harris gets a body in the way. That's a commitment from Lincoln. They ain't going to concede this lead.
And they haven't. And Dan Carter had a terrific effort inside the first 2 minutes to set the tone, denied by Karen Bardsley. She then had that one blocked on the line, right on the stroke of half-time as well. And Rick Passmore has some important words to deliver. But from nowhere, Bonnie Horwood, with a deflective effort, almost gave Lincoln the lead. But as it is all square at the break in the Continental Cup final. The underdog still very much in it. We'll have the thoughts of Karen Carney and Tash Dowie when we come back. It is Arsenal 0, Lincoln 0.
Arsenal ladies are taking on Lincoln ladies in the Continental Cup final. The second half is about to get underway. Here are your commentators, Steve Bauer and Lucy Watt.
So 0-0, all square, as the last 3 meetings have been between these two teams. Can Lincoln remember playing their last ever game as Lincoln ladies after 18 years of the club before becoming Notts County ladies in the next WSL season? Finish with the fairy tale. No changes from either side at half-time as they seek an alteration in the scoreline. A reminder, should it be level after the 90 minutes, we'll have another 30, and if necessary, a penalty shootout, which of course Lincoln needed to knock out Liverpool in the semi-finals. Casey Stoney, one of the scorers in that shootout, the Lincoln and England captain. Twice winner of the League Cup in her Charlton days. Sticking close to Carter. That's gone straight to Sophie Walton. And now Sweetman Kirk. Whelan. Chance for Horton to bring this forward for Arsenal. Little dispossessed. Allen. Early from Horwood. It's Jess Clark.
Tell you what, that's a real chance. Jess Clark, just watch the ball come into her, and her first touch is excellent, right out of her feet. She's just got to maintain her composure and get that on target. Great first touch. Takes it away from the Arsenal defender. He knows they've got to score those chances.
3 goals this season, 1 in the Cup. That came against Arsenal in the first of the 3 meetings this season. And you sense, given the fact that Lincoln have scored only 10 league goals this season, that his team really do have to score first tonight. And as you say, Lucy, when that opportunity presents itself, you don't get too many of them against Arsenal, you have to take it.
Yeah, I mean, his dream will be of a 1-0 win, I would suspect. His team score on the counter, but they've had a couple of chances now, that being probably the best one, not what we know of Jess Clark, scoring those positions. It depends on his half-time team talk. Obviously, he was concentrating on getting a few of the players that he thought weren't playing particularly well, playing well, and putting the back four of Arsenal under pressure. We saw in the first half that they just wobbled a little bit under pressure.
That's a curious ball from Ellen White. Clark almost able to get in ahead of Chapman. Allen didn't give it up. Terrific challenge from Clark. It's Allen to shoot, and it's straight at Emma Byrne.
There's 1 or 2 points at that stage, that little tussle there, that I thought Kate Chapman was being fouled. Again, kept Lincoln to have the shot from the edge of the area. Last chance of scoring. That's a couple of chances in the opening minutes, more than they had in the whole of the first half.
And he said he wanted to wake them up at half-time, Rick Passmore. They certainly look a little more energetic.
Believe me, he will have done that. I've sat through a few of his half-time team talks, and he can definitely do that.
I would ask you how.
He shouts very loud, and if you shout back at him, he shouts even louder, so it's probably best to keep your head down or look straight at him and nod. He'll kill me when he watches this back. He knew that I'd stitch him up.
Will he be cheering at the end with a historical moment? Yankee. Allen with the interception. who under Passmore was one of those who won this competition in 2010 with Leeds. Well, of course, Arsenal were the league champions last season before Liverpool took their crown. They won this final as well, and that was under the stewardship of Laura Harvey, their previous manager, who's here watching on tonight, and she is with Helen.
Laura, you're back from America, but well, presumably not back just for this game, to visit family and things, but when you're over there, how closely do you watch the Arsenal results?
Yeah, I try to keep in touch as much as I can. Obviously, it's hard to watch them on TV, but through Twitter and stuff, and I speak to the girls quite often, and yeah, just like to get a game when I came home.
Were you as surprised as many of the fans that they didn't manage to take the title of the WSL this year?
Yeah, I was. I think, you know, they've had a few injuries. Kelly Smith being injured and Niamh Fahey would have been big blows at the start of the season. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal not winning is not what everyone needs to hear. So yeah, I was surprised. But fair play to Liverpool. I think I watched a few of their games and they did well.
What do you make of tonight's performance?
I thought they started really well. I think they needed to score in the first 15 minutes because Lincoln were always going to sit in. But for me, there's only one winner in play. I think if Lincoln are going to win it, it'll only be on penalties.
You here for fun or work? Are you watching anyone?
A bit of fun.
She says, Kylie. I better let you get back to your seat because I'm very conscious that we are blocking these people's views.
Such a nice person, Helen, as well, while doing your job. Always considerate.
Far too polite.
That's interesting that Laura Harvey thinks only Lincoln on penalties. That's a great ball, though. White! Should have been 1-0 Arsenal. Ellen White has high standards, and she didn't quite hit them there.
Golden opportunity there, great movement from Kim Little down that left-hand side, a terrific ball in. You could see what Ellen was trying to do. She knew that Karen Barsley was going to dive towards that side, and she just wanted to put it in the corner, and in the end, give it too much. She's got to score there. Oh, bugger, put it on target.
4 in 4 in this competition. That should have been 5 in 5.
Yeah, it's unusual for her to miss. I think as the ball came across, everybody in the ground would have thought it's a goal.
An England striker. Not need telling. Can Lincoln make Arsenal pay? But would you go back to Laura Harvey and what she said? She knows these girls inside out. She thinks the only way Lincoln will win it is on penalties. Come back to that in a moment because here's White again. Oh, that was a risky challenge from Sophie Bradley. The referee has given a corner kick.
That's a foul, isn't it?
Well, Lisa Rashid had a good view of this. Let's have another look.
Great ball and great run by Ellen White. I just think you see the slide in from Sophie Bradley. As she touched the ball, she took the player. And she tried to get a foot on the ball, completely missed it and took the play. But you see, the view that the referee would have had, she wouldn't have even seen any of that. She'd have just seen her taking her out. So I don't understand.
Yankees corner. That was White closest to it. And there she is again, Ellen White, off the line by Harris. Again in a perfect position, and again Lincoln survive.
Ellen White did everything right then, everything right, and Martha Harris just has this habit of getting in the way, and her positioning is terrific there. She just knew that the ball was going to come to Ellen White's head. Just got herself between her and the goal line. Just did extremely well.
Well, Lincoln rode their luck on a couple of occasions there. This was the second occasion.
You can just see, look at Martha Harris, she moved back towards the goal line, anticipated where Ellen White was going to head the ball, and just helped to keep her out. Great play.
A 19-year-old who came through Lincoln's centre of excellence, another one who's only ever known this club that after today will not be there.
She put a picture on Twitter of the first ever Lincoln City Ladies game, and she was the little mascot at the front.
And you just retired. Here's Clark. Now Little. Arsenal suddenly with an extra spring in their step. Here's White. Very inviting cross. Punched by Bardsley. Headed away by Turner. Nice ball from Mitchell. Katie Chapman on the stretch. And the tempo's certainly gone up a notch from the first half.
Definitely, I think Arsenal She's got a little bit of a G up at half-time as well, raise the intensity.
Harris in the way again. Arsenal throw. Ellen White, Carter, it's Kim Little. And again, you would have expected better. With her history in front of goal.
No problem for Lincoln, the movement of Kim Little there. It just seemed to open up in front of her. She's got to run through there. Usually do better than that, Steve. A great movement. And the best of Kim Little, that is the best of Kim Little, the way that she gets beyond opposition defences.
Here's Little again. Ellen White has stayed onside. Carter wants it in the centre. Nobbs as well. It was Jordan Nobbs back in from Yankee. Carter surely. And then Yankee. Incredible. Well, is it? You just begin to wonder. Going to be Lincoln's night.
Yeah, unbelievable defending. I mean, look at Arsenal. They're just trying to make sure of each of those shots. Probably slamming into the roof of the net. You can't take that away from Lincoln's defending.
Arsenal will be wondering what they have to do to score. That's in towards Horton. Put out of play by Sweetman Kirk. Chapman. Ellen White, who should have scored and then thought she'd scored, and it's still 0-0 in the cup final. Chapman. Chance for her to cross. Little leaves it for Jordan Nobbs. Always drifting wide. But how, oh how, did Arsenal survive here? Did Lincoln survive here?
Yeah, I mean, Ellen White picks players out, but it's just the way that Lincoln throw themselves in front. I mean, that was quite lucky. That's 2-1 from, I think it was...
I think that's 4 times in this game Martha Harris has cleared off the line.
But you know what, that's no fluke, because she knows she knows where to stand, you know what I mean? She watches our Arsenal. I mean, the first one was as it came off her heel, but the second one, unbelievable.
And Shelley Kerr, I'm sure, wondering how on earth her team aren't in front. Sophie Bradley and Casey Stoney just continuing the team spirit there of Lincoln. It's Aileen Whelan who has a problem here. But she's the reason it's 0-0, Martha Harris.
Sometimes when you've got somebody who defends as well as that off the line, it's just as important as scoring a goal. It's kept this to 0-0, just there, Yankee. That one was a little bit, but that one there, unbelievable. Takes it in a stride.
Well, that's the end of Aileen Whelan's night, and Megan Sargent is going to be required. Who scored in that 4-3 victory against Arsenal and spent 2 years at the Arsenal Academy. Approaching the hour. Lincoln still at 0-0. Scott. Stopped by Horde, but illegally, according to the referee. It's an Arsenal free kick.
That's not a foul, by the way. That was just good play. Got a body between the player and the ball. Bonnie Horwood, unfortunate.
Nobbs. Carter. Just sense that Lincoln beginning to sit up a little bit deeper.
Yeah, Arsenal just got to come up with the answers. And they had a spell there, 10 minutes or so, where they were really on top and the intensity was high. Lincoln have survived that. Just got his shape back of his team. I think he would have closing his eyes at a few of those chances, but they've come through it.
Cleared by Bardsley. Here's Chapman. After that flurry of activity, Arsenal having a long period of possession here.
I think everybody's getting the breath back, Steve, including the crowd.
Walton in ahead of Little. And that's a Lincoln throw. Well, as we say, Lucy, Martha Harris 4 times has been in the right place at the right time, and quite rightly, you say it isn't a fluke. Just watch her movement here, how she reads this.
Yeah, I mean, she goes for that one. She just gets herself back on the line. That's brilliant for me. I mean, really, really good defending. She anticipates where it's going to go, helps the goalkeeper out.
Well, there was an exchange there between Flaherty and Clark. The Arsenal defender didn't like the late challenge of Jess Clark and told her so.
Quite a fiery character, Gilly Flaherty. Not really to say the same as Jess Clark. I mean, she's going for the ball there, isn't she? Surely. And Jess Clark doesn't react to it. Gilly Flaherty actually has had a boxing match. I don't think if I'd have been Jess Clark, I'd a little bit more frightened than that. But she genuinely went for the ball there. She didn't look like she went for Flaherty, did she?
First yellow of the evening. 62 minutes gone. And it goes to Lincoln's Jess Clark.
I suppose it does look like she's diving in, but I do know it innocently will go for the ball. She must have caught Flaherty for her to react like that.
Horton. Scott. Good work from Carter. Time now for Chapman. No chances taken by Amy Turner to put it behind for an Arsenal corner.
Didn't really get a shout then, Amy Turner. She tried to play it safe. She could have had I think probably a shout from a goalkeeper. Conceded the corner instead, just to make sure.
Once again, Martha Harris in situ on that goal line as Little delivers. Punched away by Barty, not too convincingly. There was an infringement that time, it won't count. The referee had already blown her whistle. She didn't always in the first half when Barty went to ground, but she did that time.
Yeah, the referee, I think it was twice she ignored the challenge on Barsley in the first half. She just managed to get a punch on that, and it deemed that Carter just obstructed her a little bit. But I think it was Flaherty in the end, wasn't it? Just knocked her onto the floor with her elbow. But I wouldn't have been reliant if I was Karen Barger that the referee was going to give that, having what occurred in the first half.
An England international back on her feet, and she still has her clean sheet intact. Lincoln have drawn the last 3 since Shelley Kerr took charge of Arsenal. Still all square in the cup final here. Arsenal, who found 31 league goals, still can't find a way through here. Good strength from Carter. Nobbs. Ellen White did well to keep that in. Couldn't get the cross in though. She's had the golden chance.
She has, and I think that might have settled some of Arsenal's frustrations. Actually, have put that in there. I think she's pretty confident, Shelley Kerr, that her team are capable of scoring against this Lincoln side tonight. They've worked at a high intensity. They've not really penetrated in behind. They've got the ball wide a few times. Not really had any sort of slide passes through past the centre halves. They've done well for Lincoln, the back 4.
Flaherty. Here's Scott. White. Well-timed challenge by Stoney. Little. Patience certainly the key for Arsenal tonight. The only team they haven't beaten in League and Cup this season, and they still can't find a way to get their noses in front in the cup final. But here's White. Came off the head of Allen, all the way through to Yankee. That's more teasing, came quickly at Chapman. She knew nothing about that, Katie Chapman.
Yeah, as the ball came in, I don't think Katie Chapman thought Dan Carter was going to get ahead to it. A little bit of a laugh about it. Can't think, Steve, that Arsenal get Kim Little and Jordan Nobbs on the ball. That's where it's going to come from. A little bit of magic from Kim Little, either a move forward or magic with the ball. Ball to Yankee, Carter or Ellen White. The longer the game goes on, they're just going to get a little bit frustrated. Don't look like it at the moment, but they're riding the luck a little bit, Lincoln. And you know, when you think it's going to go your way, this has got to go our way, because Arsenal will also be thinking that. Are we ever going to score tonight?
There's one team that never give that particular challenge up. It's Arsenal, but of course Lincoln, who overcame Liverpool, the favourites, on penalties in the semi-final. Natasha Dowie was part of that Liverpool team. She's part of our team tonight. Let's see how she's thinking with Helen.
FA WSL top goal scorer in this league. You'll know how Ellen White must be feeling. She'll be kicking herself, won't she?
Yeah, obviously Ellen's a very prolific goal scorer, and she knows that she needs to put that chance in the back of the net, and Arsenal have had 2 or 3 very good chances, and the longer this game goes on without them scoring them, Lincoln are going to think they've got a chance here, and sometimes when you don't take them chances, the game won't go your way, so she'll be very disappointed.
This half feels significantly different to the first half, doesn't it? Arsenal fans have been on tenterhooks.
Yeah, the tempo's just increased so much. Arsenal have been attacking, and Lincoln are throwing their bodies on the line. But like I said, if they can hold on for 90 minutes, Lincoln are the type of team that will go on and they'll get the confidence. You never know, they might be able to nick a chance like they did against us.
Well, they haven't scored yet, but there's plenty of life in this game yet, Steve.
It certainly is, and Yankee takes the Arsenal corner invitingly. Well, the couple had a go at that. Ellen White was the closest to it. It's gone all the way through in the end.
I think as the game goes on, you just become a little bit more anxious with the chances that you might have. Particularly Ellen White that's missed that one. Half chance really there.
It's interesting from Natasha Doig. When you're in this situation, Lucy, as a Lincoln player, do you begin at this stage to think, well, maybe, just maybe, this is our night?
Absolutely, Steve. I think they even would have thought that before the game started. You know, where we think we're capable of beating Arsenal because we know that we can clean sheet them. So if we can just get a goal, whether it's for a set piece, but I think particularly now, the way they started this half as well, they've survived the scare. They just need to have a little bit more quality in that final third. Get the ball up there for a start, and then just they've got good enough players. You look at Jess Clark, capable of scoring goals. And they've got midfielders who can score as well. They're just not getting the ball with enough pressure up there for long enough.
Arsenal certainly felt that Lincoln's league position of 6th in the end was a false one. Lowest of their 3 years in the Super League. It's a remarkable contrast tonight. Arsenal trying to win their 40th major honour against Lincoln, their very first in their last match as Lincoln Ladies. And we're into the last 20 minutes. Still anything's possible. I certainly believe that. She still hasn't beaten Lincoln as Arsenal manager. She's hoping tonight's the night that'll change, one way or another. Yankee, too strong for Little. No chances taken by Bradley.
Now, whenever Arsenal have managed to slide that ball through those two England centre halves that Lincoln have, their positioning is so good. And just sweep up, get the ball out for a throw in, get back in shape and defend again.
Heavy touch by White. It's come to Clark. She's all alone and has to wait for some support here, Jess Clark. In from Turner. Oh, won by Fartik. Lovely turn from Little. Nobbs has made the run ahead of her. She's got Yankee in support here too. Up against Harris. Yankee! Well, over the years, we've seen that particular situation time and time again, and we've seen plenty fly in the top corner.
Particularly dangerous on this right-hand side. Rachel Yankee, she has the pace. Beating with a full back when she's in full flight. Gets it onto a stronger foot. Just a little bit too much lift. Like you say, we've seen that a lot. There you go. Once again, the only stat that counts is the bottom left-hand corner for Lincoln.
Given away to Nobbs. She was looking for Ellen White, cleared by Bradley. Arsenal throw. Carter, terrific strength, not a bad try either. And that almost found its way through. For a split second, that was a nervous moment for Karen Bardsley.
It's good skill from a forward. When you have a shot there and it just make it bounce right in front of the keeper, you don't really know how it's going to bounce up. Should really have done better with that, but just conceded a corner.
More defending for Lincoln to do. In from Little. Horton's downward header, Ellen White. Trying to make something of it. More Arsenal frustration.
Steph Horton did well to get on the end of this, but Ellen White made the decision to go with her head at this point. just afraid that she might get a kick in it. Drifted aimlessly wide, she just couldn't get it. So all this is happening, the time's ticking on. This is how Rick Passmore would have expected it to go and wanted it to go. Nervy as we get towards these final 10 minutes, I would suspect.
Absolutely, I'm sure that was a chapter in his game plan. Let's get to quarter of an hour to go and be at 0-0. He would have snapped your hand off.
Well, for a fact he would. Just Clark kept going and kept going. You can always think if something's going to come from Lincoln, it's got to come through her.
Flaherty. Horton. Are Arsenal going to win the Continental Cup for the 3rd season running? The only winners of it, or is there going to be a new name, an unlikely name? But here's Ellen White, onside this time! At last for Arsenal. Ellen White with her 5th goal in the Continental Cup this season to finally give the holders the lead.
A mark of a real top striker there, Ellen White. She's had chances. We've all said that she should have scored. Just as the ball came through to her then, I think it was great play by Kim Little. Kim Little's ball. Just see the movement. She has a look. Ellen White makes a run. Kim Little finds her well onside. She composed herself. I just think there, just composed herself in front of goal. It's great power. Oh, she went off the back of Casey Stoney, was it? That's a great little ball by Kim Little. The mark of a top striker. She hasn't let those affect her. She just used sheer power.
Her 8th goal in all competitions this season. Could be a killer goal as far as Lincoln are concerned. What have they left in their locker to try and respond? Little, who got the winning goal in last year's final to defeat Birmingham by the same scoreline, 1-0. Horwood. I think the overriding emotion for Arsenal there after all those chances would have been relief, Lucy.
Yeah, relief for the team, relief for Ellen White. I thought she dealt with the ball really well. She took a goal really well. Sometimes as a striker you can let that get you down. If you think you're never going to score, you get really good opportunities and you don't take them. She never really does that, and that's an excellent ball by Kim Little. You see she looks at where Karen Barsley is, she looked at her teammates, and then she powers it.
And that was Clark putting Emma Byrne under pressure. It's a Lincoln corner. "13 minutes to try and come back at Arsenal." Horwood's corner, Burns' punch wasn't convincing, nor was this cold second time. Almost forced in and off the line. And Emma Byrne is the most relieved player.
Yeah, Emma Byrne just really struggled. I mean, she punched it straight up in the air. She just couldn't. She wasn't fouled. Lincoln just couldn't get on the end of it. We talk about defending. Lincoln's defending, but Kim Little there positions herself on the line and defends it twice.
It was the substitute, Sargent, who was denied. Another Lincoln corner. Burns come again. Didn't really get the contact she desired either. Missed kick from Bradley. Now Sophie Walton. And then Tame from Bradley.
Just caused a little bit of panic there. Sometimes when your keeper makes a mistake like that, or a wrong decision, just makes the rest of them wobble. She just caught it then and then dropped it. That would have been a calamity. Yeah, been a calamity if that would have gone in.
And here's Little at the other end. Looking for Nobbs. Carter trying to curl her. Comfortable for Bardsley. One thing is pretty much for sure, Lincoln have to score next. Here comes Scott, only Carter in the centre. Interception from Sophie Bradley, clearance from Bardsley. White. Scott. Carter trying to find the space. Ellen White once more. Yankee was waiting. Bradley trying to feed Clark. A little over 10 minutes plus stoppage time left for Lincoln Ladies in the history of their football club. In their first ever major final. To find a goal. To come back at Arsenal. Scott couldn't keep that in. Well, this is the goal that finally separates the two. Brilliantly found by Kim Little. Relief for Shelley Kerr and Kelly Smith. And the Arsenal manager is making a change. It is Dan Carter who's departing, and Arsenal have the luxury of bringing on the talent of Gemma Davison as a substitute. Her fourth spell at the club, the 26-year-old. 3 goals this season. And Lincoln are making a change as well. Bonnie Horwood has departed, and Meg Harris, the 28-year-old who has been through all 18 years of Lincoln. Born and bred. She got the winner, of course, in that 4-3 game against Arsenal. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is also off and been replaced by Emily Roberts, another of the centre of excellent products of Lincoln Ladies. They have 8.5 minutes to try and salvage the fairy tale.
It's a recent tactic used by Arsenal. They let teams get really tired and then put Gemma Davison on. Not really good for Gemma Davison because she's a real talent, but she's so quick, probably the quickest player on the pitch, and just for tired defenders to have her running at them is a real sight.
Here's Scott. Davison. Here's White, who as it stands is the match winner. She's trying to win her 7th medal of her Arsenal career. She's got Arsenal a corner here. Short to Scott. Useful cross. Cleared by Allen. Yankee. In towards Chapman. Beaten to it by Bradley. Forward by Meg Harris. Alex Scott once more. Some tired legs out there for Lincoln now. In came Nobbs. Bardsley with the save.
It's one of Jordan Nobbs' real strengths, just arriving at the right time as a midfielder on the edge of the box. A difficult technique that she did, well covered by Karen Bardsley, but the timing of the runs from a midfielder.
He'll be hoping for late drama, a twist of fate somewhere along the line. These last 6 minutes as the Lincoln Ladies manager before they become Notts County Ladies, the rebrand for the next WSL season. Originally founded back in 1995, they began in the East Midlands Combination League 18 years ago. They're finishing in their first major cup final, but as it stands, they're finishing as losers.
I think there'll be a...
That's a huge kick towards Yankee. Bradley had to scamper back.
I think they'll be a little bit disappointed, Lincoln. I mean, they've defended well, but there's only so long that you can withstand all that pressure without a little bit going forward. They just don't have enough poke up front. They've got Jess Clark, but really anything else where it causes a problem for Arsenal and the full-backs don't think about bombing forward and puts the centre halves under pressure.
Well, she won the FA Cup with that victory over Bristol Academy. After 9 successive domestic titles, she wasn't able to deliver a 10th. Here's Little looking to seal it. Still Kim Little! Fabulous! Stunning goal from Kim Little. She won it in last year's final 12 months ago. She's just made absolutely sure that Arsenal are going to win the Continental Cup for the 3rd season in a row.
Every single Arsenal game I've watched with Kim Little playing, there's always at least one moment of brilliance, and she just glides across the surface with the ball at her feet. Just see, she went past a couple of Lincoln players who just couldn't keep up with her. She just runs so well with the ball. Just sends Casey Stoney one way and Sophie Bradley nestles in the back of the net. That's a great finish. A real quality player, Kim Little. Brings that world class to the Arsenal team. Great finish.
She scores in this final for the 2nd year running. And you would think that is most certainly the end of the potential Lincoln fairy tale now. The winners in the Arsenal team are closer to yet another medal. Yankee has got more than anyone. A little over 3 minutes to go. He knows that's the end of the dream now, Rick Passmore.
Yeah, he knew how this game would work out. His key thing he stressed was, we've got to score at the times we get the opportunities, and they haven't. They've had lots and lots of pressure against them, and at some point that has to break, and particularly against a team as good as Arsenal. He knew that.
Finally, Shelley Kerr's going to celebrate a win over Lincoln. And the biggest meeting of them all. And the man who began the whole Arsenal ladies journey, Vic Akers, is going to witness yet another piece of silverware, their 40th major trophy. Here's Clark.
They seem to carry the weight of Lincoln's attack on her shoulders. She's done the best she can.
They've been well supported tonight as well. I've just seen a goal of individual brilliance to cap a familiar story. Arsenal winning in a cup final. There's been plenty on the end of those over the years.
All right, all right. I just can't get through any games, can I, with Arsenal without you mentioning anything to do with us losing.
Harris. Goal kick. Well, that goal would have graced any cup final.
Yeah, it would. I mean, she's such an unassuming character off the pitch. You get her on the pitch and she's so tricky. Technically very, very good. And she's beaten two really, really good centre halves there and put the ball past a top-class keeper as well. It's by no means easy.
Last season's PFA Player of the Year. To make sure yet another medal in her cabinet as well. Here's Davison. The last minute of the 90. I understand there will be two more to add on. Here's Davison. Blocked by Sargent. Arsenal corner. Almost came through to Davison. Jordan Nobbs sprinted to that as if it was the first 2 minutes, not the last two.
Amazing what a 2-0 lead gives your energy. She's got unbelievable energy levels, though.
That's the Arsenal mentality as well, though, isn't it, Lucy, coming through?
Yes, it is. They're just relentless. If they can beat you 6-7-0, they will. So they won't stop until the final whistle. Let's try and get more goals.
Nobbs. Davison. A minute to the champagne for Shelley Kern, her second trophy as Arsenal manager. And defeat in a cup final against Arsenal again for Rick Passmore. 5 years ago was the FA Cup final with Leeds. Tonight it is the last game of Lincoln Ladies. Yankee. Yankee. Nobbs has made the run. It could be in time for one more. It's White. Alex Scott didn't quite have the opportunity to hit it. She's kept it alive though. And a tired clearance from Casey Stoney. It's more silverware for Arsenal. For the third season running, they clinched the Continental Cup. They clinch a double domestic cup success for the season. And it is their 40th major honour of their illustrious history. Ellen White broke the deadlock with 15 minutes to go. And then Kim Little, with 4 minutes remaining, with a wonderful individual effort, made absolutely sure that in this form of the Continental Cup, there has only been one name on the trophy. 3 years out of 3, it is Arsenal. And for the 13th time, they've won the Women's League Cup. And for Lincoln, in their last game after 18 years as Lincoln Ladies, Rick Passmore couldn't deliver the dream and the fairy tale. They will move on to next season, a new name in Notts County Ladies. They were valiant. Arsenal had to be patient, but White and Little ultimately were the heroes. We will have all the reaction and the cup presentation when we come back. It has finished Arsenal 2, Lincoln 0.